Can you explain your role at your organization?
Yeah, I work for Omnia Paratus Corporation. I'm actually the president. It's a small business. I started up on my own. I'm an independent consultant right now. Just recently started the business and working on various risk analysis for NASA and doing supply chain risk management as well.
Regarding risk management, would you say supply chain risk is increasing?
Yes, I would. I would say the wherewithal in terms of trying to identify risks within supply chain up front is very much so becoming a forefront within companies, programs, and industries. It's something that people are starting to realize that the importance it plays not only within the supply chain, but the importance the supply chain plays within a company as well, and how they both go hand in hand with each other. How do I see supply chain risk management evolving? I think I said it's always been there, but I think in terms of actually evolving, industries are starting to realize that doing risk management at the supply chain level is really a forward-thinking application of risk management. And it's also a lot of times from my past experience that I've seen within risk management as well as in supply chain that whenever a risk associated with a supplier is identified, it's typically after a contract's been awarded and it pertains to they might not meet their budget, they might not meet technical requirements, or they're not going to be able to meet the delivery originally laid out. Well, identifying it at that stage after a contract's been awarded is not really truly risk management. It's actually more of an issue management because you're already in a situation where there's a good chance that's going to happen and trying to figure out how to avoid that. The concept that I've kind of put together in my mind is really a forward-thinking application of doing risk management up front, trying to identify and avoid those areas and make sure you're running as efficiently as possible, because a lot of times, like I said, supply chain and programs kind of get narrow-minded and focused on looking at, okay, what are my short-term gains of cost savings? And cost savings off of an initial contract, while it may look good initially, have repercussions if you don't identify the risks associated with those cost savings that could come back down the road to bite you long-term and wind up being cost overrun and not necessarily cost savings.
Can you share some of your experience on the top factors that influencing supply chain strategies?
Most of the top factors are pretty straightforward in terms of cost, schedule, productivity, technical requirements. A lot of times factoring into a supply chain is going to be, what is the most cost-effective way, what is the most cost-effective suppliers to be procuring with, as well as scheduling for deliveries, receiving, as well as the operations. They all kind of play hand in hand with each other. And then also technology-wise, it really has to do with suppliers and what they're able to produce for a company, and the technical advancements they have, as well as their technical capabilities for producing various types of goods.
What actions can be taken on these risk factors?
From a program management thought process in addressing the risks, it's kind of a multi-tiered approach. The first is to look at what are your operational requirements for the supply chain. Where are the risks within there? Do you have risks within your inventory? Do you have risks within your receipt of goods? Are the risks within the inventory logistical systems you're currently using? Are they not being accurately utilized? Also, in terms of cost, you have to look at, are material risks a factor? Is steel going up and down? Are you going to lose funding? Are you in a point where you have to start looking at cost reductions to start making a profit? And then also from a technological standpoint and a program management view, what are the requirements you have? Commercial industries have certain requirements for the goods they're trying to manufacture and produce to consumers, from aerospace or defense industry aspect. You have to look at, okay, what are my technological requirements for the goods that they're trying to produce, as well as what are the requirements from their customers, their statements of work. So you have, from a program management, you have to kind of look at how does all those aspects play into it, and what are the risks. And then when you start identifying and rating the risks, what are those impacts to those specific areas? How is this risk going to impact me from a cost perspective at a program level? How is it going to impact my schedule? And how is it going to impact my technical capabilities of meeting the requirements laid out? And then on top of that, what can you do to mitigate it? Is it cost effective to mitigate the risk? If you have a risk that has a potential to impact you by $1 million, but it's going to take $5 million to mitigate that risk, is that really cost effective? And are there alternative workarounds for mitigating that risk or avoiding the risk?
Logipy.